guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Lei. Okay, now come back to my normal mode. Today's episode, I want to talk a bit about the 2022 recession, the current global recession that we are in, and why it's a once-in-a-lifetime wealth-building opportunity. If you follow along my content, you will know I cover a variety of topics, mainly focus on first personal finance, investing, those stuff. Second is the intimate relationship and how to be happy and be contentful with your life, be self-fulfilled. And the third is about the traveling tips and the countries that I go and just the world that I see. I want to provide a different angle from my perspective and share with all the tips and all the things that I learned and observed about this world together with you guys. Now let's come back to today's topic, recession, and take a more deep dive into that. So recession has its technical definition in economic terms, and technically US now has officially entered a recession because it hit that definition with its back-to-back 2 consecutive quarters GDP declining. However, I don't want you to focus any attention on that because that definition is useless. What is important in this situation is to understand how rare a recession is and how rare this market opportunity there is, and what actions that we actually should do in this recession to make the most value, and why it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. First, I want you to know that recession is not a common thing, it's a rare thing. So it's not like the sunlight and moonlight you will see every day. It's more like a shooting star once in a while. So it's a rare thing. And from statistics, it's averagely ranging from 5 years to 10 years that a recession might happen. And it also is a part of the economic cycle. So it's normal in that economic cycle that when it crashes, everything crashes down. It's a normal process of it. It's like tree will die, and after they die, the seed will grow in the soil, then became a small tree and a big tree, and in economic boom and grow to the big tree, and the big tree die again. So it's just a normal natural cycle, and the economy definitely has its own cycle. It's very important to feel that cycle and to have an overall understanding of that. And for this recession that we have just entered in, how long will it last? This answer no one can tell you. Even the most famous economists in the world cannot give you a definite answer to that. So you cannot expect it to finish soon, and you are going to strive and live through that. Well, is this recession a global recession? Well, in my eyes, actually, not yet. I can't say maybe when things going on, it might grow in more global, but currently it's more of the US market. It's not global yet. From the Chinese economy and Chinese perspective, the Asia perspective that I see, it hasn't really going into that downturn and recession yet. However, in the US market, it's already every trace that you see there is kind of going down into that way. As you can see from the data, the inflation has risen to 9.1 in June 2022 in the US. That's a lot. It's very much worthwhile noting that the inflation rate in US has already hit 9.1%. Can you imagine 9.1? It's totally not normal, and even in historical times, this is like very high, and it seems it's going to be high, very likely. So it's more like, let's draw back in the history. It's more like the 1970s crash, where they also have a hyperinflation there. Not every recession will have a hyperinflation there, which means this recession is even worse, like even more severe. Draws back to 30 years ago, not let's say 5 to 10 years ago. And keep that inflation rate in mind. You would definitely want to think about the medium income household. So from this data from the housing and urban development of US, we can see that the median family income for the whole US is 90K USD per year in 2022, which is a little bit growing from the past years. Medium income household is the people earning money keeping the rate of inflation. This is very important, because only when, let's say if the goods going up 10%, if your income is not going up the 10% as well, how can you keep up the same buying capability there? So it's important to check the medium household income number. That's why I go into that route. And as we can see from the chart, that the household medium income is just not keeping up with the crazy inflation rate there. What this leads to the problem? This leads to the problem that the recession is hard, and most of the people will not survive it. Most of the people will be losing their money. So in these circumstances, which means even if you are working your ass off, you're still losing and decreasing, and you cannot help the situation. So what's important is, in a recession, in this kind of time, what we should do to take the actions. What actions should we do? How to survive this? First of all, you have to work even harder, because all your active income is what you can put into further investing. If you want to enter into the investing world and going into that route, you first have to have savings, have to have a certain money that you can invest. So this is extremely the time that you have to work even harder to get the same amount of capital that you need, and to accumulate the enough savings that you need for the road you are going down. Second step is definitely investing. Then let's talk more about this part. This is directly linked to why this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for wealth building. I am a millennial myself, so the actual recession that I have been is the 2008 crash. However, as you know, like in 2008, I'm still in high school yet. Well, I'm just not working in this economic cycle yet. Well, this 2022 recession is what I see in my lifetime. The first opportunity I really have in the recession. So I'm gonna to make the most use of, and I'm gonna to adopt actions in this recession. What happens in the recession? What opportunities are there? In the recession, most attractive opportunity for me is the crash of all the good assets. So in a downturn and in a recession like this, and you will see like this, the stock market would crash, the real estate market would crash. So not only the bad assets, like the bad stocks and houses will crash, but the good stocks and houses will also crash. So this is what we need to figure out here. So do your homework and do your actions to figure out what in your eyes is the best stocks in the world, and where is the real estate market that's most resistant. So at the big picture of my release of this video is at the time where the tech companies already have crushed a lot, and I mean the good companies have already crashed a lot. And as you can see from that, no matter SP in the US market, or you can see in my Chinese stock market, some companies have already crashed a lot. In China, it's a lot of the healthcare industry companies, good companies, while in US, it's like more of the innovation and leading tech companies. Some of them have already corrected like 80% even there. So my suggestion here is still pay attention to those good assets that are crashing and will be undervalued in this recession, and take that opportunity to get that in. And the second thing of very good assets is the real estate. So it depends on which state you are living in and where is the ideal place that you want to settle down and live in. So from the recent real estate market, I do see a softening number and the softening of the market over the craziness over the past 2 years, let's say, kind of softened a bit, but it's not crash at all. Like, I mean, it's not happening yet. Will that be a crash there in the US market? Not necessarily, actually, because the Fed just has printed too much money there to support the price of that thing. Well, it's just how this US economy works. So let's see if it's going to crash more, and I do see this year end or the next year would be a good opportunity to keep an eye onto that and to take the action there. And remember, the real estate market is always lagged behind the stock market. The stock market is very sensitive. You can imagine it as the most accurate and exquisite machine in this world to have a reflection of the economy. So the stock market is usually very sensitive and would crash first, and then the real estate market will follow in kind of like pretty much behind there. But you know, there's a lot of due diligence to dig in beforehand, so just take your action and seize this once in a lifetime opportunity. The third thing that you can consider is an index. So for example, like the SP index and the DJI index if you're in the US market, and in every capital market they have a similar kind of alternative index there. So especially during a downturn and recession is a good entry point there, a good thing to enter the, like, just to allocate more than usual into the index fund in your portfolio. While this is a less risky investment, and well, the logic behind it is just to average things out. So if you have a lower risk tolerance, it might be a better investment for you than the stocks, because stocks has a lot of risks there, and if you're not an expert at it or the expert in the industry, I won't suggest you go into the individual stock unless unless you have the advantage and information and knowledge in this particular sector that you can outperform the market. So for most of the people, I think the best bet and the best investment during this downturn is to put more into the index fund that you are building with more allocation there. In terms terms of how to allocate the investment in the stock and the real estate market, it depends on different places and the countries, and also depends on the risk tolerance, and also depends on, well, just your personal style. Well, for me, I do think this is another episode. Maybe I can explain in detail in some other episode, and leave a comment if you are interested in it. So in short, my view of this is mostly in real estate and the minority in stocks. This suit for most people, unless your competitive advantage is at the stock sector, not the real estate sector. Let's say just the normal people, then just go with the majority in the real estate and the less, like a minority in index fund. Fourthly, with the similar logic, actually I found the declining time, the recession time, is actually the best time to start your own business. I know this is against most people thinking, and well, it's just against the traditional thinking. Well, the conventional wisdom is always when the decline and when the economy crashed and the numerous business died, and like bankruptcy and like distressed assets. But however, the dying also means more new opportunities, and for those niche areas that during the recession is the best time to build. When you build a solid foundation in a recession, and when the economy booms and going into the growth stage again, and if you are in the right niche, it's just gonna to blow. I would say this is even like more return than no matter your real estate or index fund or the best stocks. The most return comes from you. So do think about that, and do not think that everything dies in the downturn. Everything grows. People who smart, who grows in the recession and in the downturn. Lastly, I do want to point it out that in the recession, the best investment is always yourself. So, well, I found myself have very little time. I have no time, not during a recession, to learn. I mean, like if in a booming economy, this world is just so much things are going on. You're so busy with your work, you don't have the time or even a second to hesitate to learn, because a lot of deep learning still take time. You need to put continuous hours and to digest and to really understand what's going on behind the surface, and to understand deeper to make it effective. However, this kind of deep learning, I found myself, I just have no time in a booming economy. However, in the recession, I found myself like the best time to learn, because when the economy is slowing down, all the deals slowing down, the work slowing down, I have more time for myself, no matter for my reading and for my research and for my self-learning experience. So in a recession, I think the best thing is do not panic, just learn. There's numerous things that you can learn and can master in this world, and a lot of like different skills, and it's the best time you can learn. You have time. If not a recession, why would you even have time? I mean, I don't have. So I find it very interesting that it's the best time to learn. In short, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Just imagine how many 10 years, a recession like this, 30 years, how many 30 years are there in your life? How many 10 years are there in your life? And when you are can work, and when you are strongest in your lifetime, let's say maybe just 2 or 3 times. Seize the opportunity, guys. I do think this is the time that you are going to shine and going to win. Do not think the conventional way. I never think the conventional way, and I want to share with you more, and I want like more people to think like me, that not in a more conventional way. And after the winter, when the spring comes, how much can the market bounce back and grow? It will definitely outweigh outweigh your thinking, outweigh my thinking, outweigh our own imagination. So be prepared and do the work, do the hard work, and thrive. So this is Lei, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do hit that subscribe button so that you'll be automatically alerted when I posted new content, and do smash the like button. It will help me to hit the YouTube algorithm so that I can grow my content better. I do appreciate that if you simply click all those items. And if you have any questions and you have any thoughts about no matter this recession or what I talk about or anything about it, or what like deeper dive topic that you are more interested in, do leave a comment below and I'll answer them. Like I will go like one by one. I mean, like at last it will be me who are responding. So see you guys in the next episode.